I never got to meet my great-grandfather, Frank Rush. In fact, no one I know in the family did, since Frank died in 1934. I do know he was a commercial baker, and he left behind a few artifacts, including his handwritten cookbook. I'm boiling down and making Frank's recipes as a tribute to him and to other family members that we'll never get to meet. I'm Tom Mattingly, and this is Baking with Frank. Welcome back. So today, a couple of things. No, number one, you're not going to see the dogs. They had their annual visits today and are a little sleepy, so they're having a little nap. So probably won't see any dogs today. But I appreciate your concern. They're fine. Number two, we're making Crocans. Now, I don't know that I've ever had a Crocan. So I looked it up. And it is alternately a French, Turkish, Polish cookie or cake that either does or doesn't have nuts. Frank's recipe does not have nuts in it, but then every other one that I looked at did have nuts. So I wonder if that's just one of those Frank things. So we're gonna put nuts in it. The other part is this one has flour, which none of the ones online did. So the only addition that we'll be making is nuts. We're otherwise gonna follow Frank's recipe. So stay with me, right? Tip you down here so you can see what's going on. And we've measured out 1/3 pound of sugar. And here in the bucket, we've got 1/8 pound of butter, right? 1/3 of 1/8, because that's how math works. So we're gonna get those going. I'm not gonna make you listen to the noise for more than a hot second. We'll be back. All right, so we've got our sugar and our butter that looks very much like just a paste. And I know some of you are gonna yell at me, but I'm gonna do this anyway. 1 egg. Now Frank's full recipe called for 4 eggs, which when you break it down 3 times, calls for half an egg, but it also calls for milk. So we're just gonna, run with this one with 1 egg. If it's not thick enough, I'll add some milk in. If it is thick enough, cool. You'll also notice here I have measured out 3/8, that's 6 ounces of flour. And we're using all-purpose flour because it's, what do we say? What we got in the house. And I'm gonna add to that 1/8 of an ounce of soda. And we'll add that in as soon as this looks right. So we'll get this started. All right, so 1/8 of an ounce of soda. Palm spoon. Just that much. We'll save that for another day. And so Frank's recipe just says cinnamon, right? Wait, look at me here. So we know how that goes, right? Frank knew what he was doing. I know. So I'm just gonna put in, this much cinnamon. Okay. So there's my cinnamon from our friends up north. I don't know, that seems like enough, right? Sure, we're going with that. All right, so in we go. I'm gonna give it a little stir. Yes, I'm putting it all in once. A little impatient today. Here we go. All right, so I did end up adding, I'm gonna go with 1/2 cup of milk. And this is probably a cup of walnuts. I chopped them up a little bit more than they were the walnut pieces. But in they go. We're gonna give those a spin. I have the oven preheating at 350, which looks like it's there, so that's ready for us. All right, here we go. So one of the recipes I looked up had some very clear instruction that was for, let me think how this went. A chewy cookie has more, and a crispy cookie is thin. Now, number one, I feel like I need that on a t-shirt. Number two, okay, so I think we're gonna go for a little bit of both. So, we moved over to the counter next to the stove. Let's turn this down here where you can see what's going on. Mom spoon. I'm gonna scoop out a little bit of this. Obviously, I have no idea how far these are gonna spread. So, gotta thin that out a little bit. Oh, it also said to make them the cookie size. Now, that's something that, you know, won't garner much debate, I'm sure, because in my house, we like the cookies. So a larger cookie is generally a better thing. Whereas a smaller cookie can also be delicious, it just means that you eat more of them. So we're gonna go with what's probably gonna end up being a big cookie. And you know, if it becomes tragic, so be it. Doesn't break my heart. All right, last scoop for this batch. Oh wait, I missed one. How'd that happen? Y'all were watching. How did you let that happen? All right, there we go. And we are going in the oven, which is at 350. I'm gonna call these 15 minutes. But in reality, we're gonna check in 15. So, go find something to do for a quarter of an hour. We'll be back. All right, we're coming down to the final few seconds. Oh, there they are. There's batch one. Let's turn that out because that was just annoying. And we'll get batch two out. Now, I thought these were just gonna run together like, you know, everything else we've done together has done, but look at that. Look at all of that. I'm gonna pop these fellas in. Set the thing, you know. We need to know that. But here's the first part of the batch. Right? Crispy, delicious. Try to break it in half here. Oh yeah, crunchy, crunchy. So that is probably the best chocolate chip cookie I've ever had that doesn't have chocolate chips in it. The cinnamon is just right. Could go a little more, but it's just right. The nuts are great. Crunchy. Now we know what a Crocan is.